Hello, my name is Thomas Norton, and I work in the Educational Technology Department at BJU Press. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can take your PowerPoints and turn them into Google Jamboard presentations. So you may want to do this if you're teaching math. I have fundamentals of math up here, or another subject where you want to be able to write on your lesson. You may want to do this so that you can write on your slide, show yourself working out the problem, and then also easily share your presentation to your students. So the first thing we need to think about when we're creating or turning these into Jamboard presentations is that anything that is on your slide is going to show up on your Google Jamboard unless you hide it or cover it in some way. So there's no animations in Jamboard. So as we scroll down here to our bell ringer, I want students to be working on this problem, but I don't want them to have the answer. Now in a PowerPoint slide, I would have this first slide up and it would just be the questions. And then as I click through, the answers would appear one at a time. I'm not able to do that in Google Jamboard. So I either need to delete those, or when I create my Jamboard, I need to cover them up so that I can pull off the box and show the answer at the end. I'm actually not going to delete these. I'll show you how you can cover those in Jamboard in a second. Next, we're going to jump down to slide number 10 down here. Slide 10 talks about estimation, and then there's an example right afterwards. Now in this example, you'll notice we're talking about estimation, and we have a receipt on the left side, and we're estimating the price for each item. So what I want to do with my students as I work them through this problem is talk about, okay, the first item, the pork chops, were $9.99, so let's round that to $10. The barbecue chicken was $9.25, we're going to round that to $9. So obviously I need to remove anything on here that would be what I would work out with students as I talk them through the problem, because I don't want to have the answer to the problem there. So I'm going to take all of these answers and I'm going to delete them. I don't want to delete the question. There we go. Then I also need to delete this working out on the bottom. Now you would need to, with an already existing presentation, if you have a presentation where you work through the problems with students, you would need to think through this and go through and work all of those out before you upload this to Google Jamboard. Now, of course, if you're building this PowerPoint or this Google Jamboard with the idea in mind that you're going to be presenting it, you would build it in a way that would work well, and you wouldn't add the answers in there ahead of time. So once you have your presentation the way you want it, we're just going to do those couple of slides so far. You're going to go up here to File and click Save As. And what we're going to do is, instead of saving this as a PowerPoint presentation, we're going to save this as an image. So I'm going to pick JPEG. You could also use PNG or a TIFF file. Either one works. We're going to save, and what this will do is save each slide as its own picture. And you'll see what we're going to do with that in a second. I'm going to change this to Fundamentals of Math Images, and it will save to a file on my desktop when I click Save here. The options here, the question is just, do you want to save all the files or just the slide that we're on, that we have open? We're going to click All Slides there. It's going to take a second to do it, and then it will save all of the slides as their own picture. Once we've saved them that way, we can go to our Jamboard here. And as we talked about in the last video, we're going to set those pictures as the background image of my slide. So I'm going to click Set Background here, click Image, and then I want to browse to the folder I just made. So on my desktop, Fundamentals of Math Images, and you'll see all of my slides here. Since this is my first slide, I'm going to open up my bell ringer and put it on this slide. and it will take a minute to upload. Then you would need to do this for each slide as you go along. So we're going to also open up slide number 11. Of course, you would do this for every slide as you go along that you want to teach from. Now back at my bell ringer, I have these questions I want students to answer. If I don't want them to see the answers, I can click a shape. So I'm going to click a square here. And that will give us a shape that we can then move in front of my answer. And when it is time for my students to answer the question, or it's time for us to talk about the question and the answer, I'll just take and either move that over or delete it so they can see the answers to those questions. So that keeps you from having to write down the answer for each one as you get to them. Of course, as I'm working out a problem, if I have an iPad or something I can write on, a tablet of some sort, I can use the pen tool to write. Of course, I don't have that, so I'm going to have to use my mouse, and it's a little tricky to write with that. You can also use a text box to add questions to it. The nice thing about adding your picture as a background instead of just putting it as a picture on your slide is that when you're done, if you've been working out your problem and you've written on your slide, you can click clear frame here and it will clear out all of the work that you've done so that you're ready to go for the next class as they come in. So I hope this is helpful to you. I hope that you can use Google Jamboard in your classroom in great ways. I can't wait to hear what you're doing with it, and I hope you have a great day.